Hello, my darlings. So, what we're going to try to do is because I've been on Twitter a lot, and I don't really just want to repeat everything on Twitter. I could do, obviously, I could go through that again, but that requires me to have a certain level of energy, which I haven't got at this precise moment in time, probably because the bottle of vodka is now empty. I mean, I could go off and get another bottle of vodka. That might be the solution to the problem. Or the alternative, you see, my darlings, I've got vitamin pills in here. We could do a little controlled experiment here. Me without vitamin pills and me with vitamin pills. Now, if I knock back these vitamin pills, this is going to perk me up a little bit. There was a big fight out in the street about these vitamin pills the other day, but we'll not go into too many details about that one. But in summary of what I've done on Twitter so far, so we start off, it's a gold mine, Klondike, gold rush, miner hungry, eating his boot, Himpleman he's called. Outside, suddenly the cry goes up, "We've struck gold, we're rich, we're rich." Himpleman runs out in the street. It turns out they've struck gold. They're all rich. We go to they're all celebrating by forming a human pyramid on a bicycle or something. Then we go to a dance hall where they're having a celebratory dance. And it turns out the head honcho, Gold Miner Hash 1 he's called, very catchy name. He says, "Good news, we've mined a whole heck of a lot of gold." This must be about a week later or something, I think. We've mined a whole heck of a lot of gold, which is now sitting in the safe in the adjoining office. Bad news is the seam, the gold seam, is now run dry. So that's the end of all of their gold. Anyway, they're quite happy because they've made a stack in that week. Cut to next scene in the adjoining office. The safe is being robbed by a robber. He manages to get the gold out of the safe onto a trolley, propels it down the jetty onto a powerboat, and the gold miners manage to cling a hold of a rope behind the powerboat, and as the powerboat takes off, the gold miners on a water ski are pulling themselves towards the powerboat. The robber spots them and he approaches them with a knife. He tries to cut the rope. He succeeds in cutting the rope. They tumble onto the back of the powerboat. Then we hear, "Cut! Printed, it's a wrap." So it's a movie set. That's a surprise little reveal, if you like. And then they all go off to the beach bar to celebrate. And in the beach bar, Himpleman, if you remember, Himpleman was one of the gold miners. He is on the TV that is above the bar, and he's being interviewed, and he's saying, "Humding, I just want to be getting married and raising some children," type of thing. But he apparently is the star of the show. And Bluehorn, who is a polished Hollywood agent, approaches Himpleman and says, "I'm going to make you rich, kid." And then we go through a montage of shots which show Himpleman being interviewed on television and, whining and dining the host of the TV show in a restaurant, and also making a movie with a lady called Giselle. And then Himpleman turns up on the movie set and he says, "We're going on the Queen Mary 2. to England because Himpleman's got a fear of flying, and so they have to go on the Queen Mary 2 to England, and rather than take an aeroplane, they get on the boat and they meet these two women called Cheryl and Sharon, and then a few months later, Himpleman is taken up with Cheryl, and things aren't running very smoothly, and that's as far as we get in my reading out of every line of the script on Twitter. And so I'm going to sign off from there. I would say watch the Twitter account, which is not a hashtag, it's at Ian Timothy Byrne 1. That's at IAN for Ian, Timothy, TIMOTHY, Byrne, BURN, no S on it for some reason, and a 1 on the end of it. I'll say thank you and good night.